Hello students, welcome to AriserTalent. As you know, we are studying about the chapter life processes. Life processes as the term is given there, but what do you understand by it? What are these life processes? First of all, if we talk about life, life means something which is alive. Okay. So as we have observed many things around us, then we can differentiate between the living things and non-living things. Living things means which can perform different activities and can respire, needs nutrients for the process of nutrition, can respire, can do the excretion, can do the movement, can grow, can develop. Okay, so all those activities are performed by only the living beings. So thus we can say that life means something or an organism which can perform different activities. Okay, and these activities are known as life processes. Clear? So something which can perform different activities, like it can do nutrition, it can perform respiration, it can perform transportation, it can perform excretion. Okay, so all these activities are done by an living organism only, and these activities or functions are known as life processes. Okay, these life processes continuous even while we are sleeping. Okay, we respire when we sleep, we respire. Okay, it's not like that if I am awakened then only I do the respiration. When we sleep, that time also we respire. All the internal activities carry on during the sleeping also. So such activities are known as life processes. So thus we can say, what are life processes? The activities or the functions or the processes performed by a living being during the lifetime, these are known as life processes, and these life processes help an organism to grow, to develop or to maintain its body. Fine. If we want that our all the body parts, all the body organs work properly, they function properly, then we have to perform these all the processes continuously. Means alive means when an organism perform all these activities like nutrition, respiration, excretion, transportation, then these processes are known as life processes. Clear? So what are the different life processes which are performed by an organism? These are nutrition, okay, respiration, transportation, and excretion. Nutrition means the process in which a living organism derive or utilize the nutrients for the growth and development of the body. Fine. Respiration is the process in which an organism takes in oxygen and leaves out or gives out carbon dioxide, and generally in this process energy is produced. Fine. Transportation, generally we have seen for the example in unicellular organism, means the transportation is the process that exchange or that move the substances from one part of the body to the other part. Means when the transport of the substances from one organ or one part to the other part of the body is known as transportation. Excretion, when the waste material is excreted by the body, okay, that process is known as excretion. So in this chapter we are going to talk about all those processes in the detail. First of all, we will talk about nutrition. First of all, we are going to talk about nutrition. What is nutrition? Actually, nutrition is the process in which organism derive or utilize the nutrients for the development and growth and the maintenance of the body. Okay. What is nutrition? The process by which an organism obtain and utilize nutrients for growth, development and maintenance. Okay, so what is nutrition? Nutrition means when an organism obtains nutrients, then it utilizes those nutrients for the growth, development and maintenance of the body. That process is known as nutrition. Okay, so this process is known as nutrition. Okay, now as I told you that organism obtain nutrients. So what are these nutrients? These nutrients are the organic or inorganic substances which are present in the food. So now we will talk about nutrients. What are nutrients? Nutrients are the organic or inorganic substances present in the food. Inorganic or organic substances present in the food. Okay, so these are known as nutrients. Now we will talk about the types of nutrition. Generally, nutrition is of two types: autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Nutrition is of two types: autotrophic and heterotrophic. Heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, now this heterotrophic nutrition is again of two types: saprophytic nutrition and parasitic nutrition. Saprophytic nutrition and parasitic. Okay. Now first of all we will talk about autotrophic nutrition. What is autotrophic? As the name itself defines, autotrophic means when an organism synthesizes its own food by the utilizing of inorganic substances which are present in its surrounding. Okay, that process is known as autotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition. What is autotrophic nutrition? The process of nutrition by which an organism synthesize its food by utilizing inorganic substances present in its surroundings. Okay. So what is autotrophic nutrition? Autotrophic nutrition is the process by which an organism synthesizes its own food by the utilizing inorganic substances which are present in its surroundings. Okay. For example, green plants. Okay, now we will talk about heterotrophic. Heterotrophic means they cannot synthesize their own food, even they are depend or they derive their food from the other organisms. Okay. Next is heterotrophic. Heterotrophic nutrition the process of nutrition by which an organism derived its food from its environment and do not synthesize its food. Okay, or even we can say the organism which do not synthesize its own food and derive it from its environment is known as heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, the process of nutrition by which an organism derive its food from its environment and do not synthesize its food by its own, such type of nutrition is known as heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, so what are the examples of heterotrophic nutrition? Human beings and some other animals. Okay. Why they do not synthesize? Because they do not have green pigment in their body. Okay. So here we can mention animals and human. Okay. Now as I told you, heterotrophic nutrition is again of two types, saprophytic nutrition and parasitic nutrition. Now we will talk about them. Saprophytic nutrition. What is the saprophytic nutrition? As the sapro means rotten. So when an organism derive its nutrients or derive the food from the rotten food material, means from the dead or decaying plants or animals, that is known as saprophytic nutrition. Okay. Or let me mention the process by which an organism derived its food from dead or decaying plants or animals. Okay, so such process is known as saprophytic nutrition. Is known as saprophytic nutrition. Okay. So thus we can say sapro means rotten. So when an organism get nutrients or get food from the dead or decaying plants or animals, that type of nutrition is known as what? Saprophytic nutrition. Now we will talk about parasitic nutrition. Parasitic nutrition means a parasite, when a parasite gets its nutrients from the host. Okay, so thus we can say when an organism gets nutrients from the other organism. Okay, when an organism lives with other organism and get nutrient from them, then this process is known as parasitic nutrients, because the organism which is getting the nutrients, that is known as parasite, and the organism in which the other organism live, that is known as host. Okay, so another is parasitic nutrition. What is this parasitic nutrition? The process by which an organism lives with other organism and derives nutrition, means food, from them, is known as parasitic nutrition. Okay, so such form is known as parasitic nutrition. Okay, so the organism which derive food or nutrition is known as parasite, and the organism from which food is derived is known as host. Okay, so this is all about the parasitic nutrition. Now we will talk about what is the difference between autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. As I told you, in the autotrophic nutrition, an organism synthesize its own food. Why? Because a green, or we must say a photosynthetic pigment is present in it. Okay, but if we talk about heterotrophic nutrition, so in this process generally organism does not synthesize its food. Okay, even it derive its nutrients or derive food from the environment. Okay, and it is because of the lack of photosynthetic nutrient. Okay, photosynthetic pigment. Okay, so what is the big difference between them? Autotrophic autotrophic nutrition, then generally the organism which perform autotrophic nutrition are known as autotrophs, and the organism which perform heterotrophic nutrition, then they are known as heterotrophs. So difference is that autotrophs have photosynthetic pigment. This is the reason they can synthesize their own food. Okay, and heterotrophic organisms or heterotrophs do not have photosynthetic pigment. This is the reason they cannot synthesize their own food. Clear? So it was all about the what? Nutrition in the animals. This was a general introduction. Now we will talk about the what? Nutrition in the plants. Okay? Let me explain you nutrition in the plants. Generally, nutrition in the plants is obtained by the process of photosynthesis. Okay, let me mention nutrition in the plants. Okay, so generally plants perform photosynthesis by which they get their nutrients, okay, or they get the nourishment. So first of all we will talk about photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is the process by which green plants, okay, I am focusing on the word green plants, okay. So the process by which green plants synthesize their own food by using inorganic substances in the presence of sunlight. That process is known as photosynthesis, okay. The process by which green plants synthesize their own food by utilizing inorganic substances in the presence of sunlight. Okay. So this process is known as photosynthesis. As I told you that the plants use inorganic substances. What are these inorganic substances? They are carbon dioxide, water, okay, and then they form what? They form their own food, and that form is in the form of organic substance. So what is the actual process? This is known as photosynthesis. 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O is equal to C6H12O6. Okay, then this is the product which is made by the process of photosynthesis, and generally this reaction is completed in the presence of sunlight. And here I mentioned green plants. Why? Because only the green plants can perform the process of photosynthesis because they contain the green pigment which is responsible for photosynthesis, and that is known as chlorophyll. Okay. So here let me mention in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Okay, so what is the actual product? C6 CO2 plus 6 H2 is equal to C6H12 as well as 6 H2O plus 6 O2. So in the whole process of photosynthesis, oxygen is released. Okay, glucose is made. Okay, as the result of the process of photosynthesis, organic substance is formed here, that is known as glucose, and oxygen is released in the environment. Fine. Now the thing is, what are the requirement for the process of photosynthesis? So the requirements are what? Water, okay, carbon dioxide, chlorophyll and sunlight. These are the important components for the process of photosynthesis. Requirements. Requirements for photosynthesis. What are they? Generally sunlight, okay, then carbon dioxide, chlorophyll, and water. Okay, so these are the main components of the process of photosynthesis. These are the essential substances which are required for the process of photosynthesis. Now I'll explain you how this process takes place. Okay, so here as I told you what is the process of photosynthesis, as well as I told you the requirements of photosynthesis. In my next lecture, I'll explain you about the site of photosynthesis and how the actual process of photosynthesis occurs. Till then, take care. Thank you.